at Titus Andronicus, Act 1, Scene 1. And as I mentioned in the intro, this is Shakespeare's first tragedy, and you'll notice many, many differences between from this play and the previous ones. Act 1, Scene 1, it's a longer scene. Some of the scenes are drawn out, and we'll look at this. All right, so let's jump right in. Synopsis of Act 1, Scene 1. Saturninus and Bassianus, sons of the deceased emperor of Rome, challenge each other for the title of emperor. Now, Bassianus is the better choice of the two, but Saturninus is older. Titus Andronicus, general of the Roman forces, enters with captives from the recent war with the Goths. Along with his remaining sons, some living, some dead, Titus allows the eldest son of the captive queen of the Goths to be slain in retribution for his own sons' deaths. So that's why Titus kills Timora's sons. Titus is then asked by his brother, the tribune Marcus, to stand as a candidate for the emperor of Rome. Instead, Titus names Saturninus as emperor. Saturninus' first act as emperor is to choose Titus's daughter Lavinia as his bride. Titus willingly agrees. Bassianus claims that she is his own betrothed. They were a couple. And Titus's sons and brothers, Marcus, help Bassianus carry her away. Titus is enraged and kills his son Mucius, who is abetting their escape. Saturninus turns against Titus because of his family's action and replaces Lavinia with Timora, queen of the Goths, as his bride, exiting to marry her immediately. Titus is persuaded by his family to allow the body of Mucius to be placed in the family tomb. Saturninus returns with his new empress Timora, and Bassianus and Lavinia, now married, enter with Titus's family. Timora publicly urges Saturninus to forgive Bassianus, Titus, and his family. Speaking privately to Saturninus, she explained that this forgiveness is only for show. Soon she will destroy all of them in revenge for the ritual sacrifice of her own son. Titus and the others believe they are forgiven, and Titus invites the emperor and empress to a hunt. So there's a lot going on in this scene. And of all the plays we've read, this one has revenge, bloodletting, bloodthirstiness at its height, and we see the folly of that at the end. All right, here's Saturninus. Noble patricians, patrons of my right, defend the justice of my cause with arms, and countrymen, my loving followers, plead my successive title. You know, Saturninus is pleading for I should be in charge with your swords. I am his firstborn son that was the last over the imperial diadem of Rome. Then let my father's honors live in me, nor wrong mine age with his indignity. Bassianus. Romans, friends, followers, favorers of my right, if ever Bassianus, Caesar's sons, were gracious in the eyes of royal Rome, keep then this passage to the capital, and suffer not dishonor to approach the imperial seat, to virtue consecrate. To justice, continence, that's restraint, and nobility, but let desert and pure election shine, and Romans, fight for freedom in your choice. So Bassianus says, it should be me. And he's the better choice. He's more level-headed, and we'll see that play out. But Saturninus is older. Here's Marcus. And he wants Titus Andronicus. This is Titus's brother Marcus. He wants Titus to throw his hat into the ring. Princes that strive by factions and by friends, ambitiously for rule and empery, know that the people of Rome, for whom we stand a special party, have by common voice and election for the Roman emperor chosen Andronicus, surnamed Pius, for many good and great deserts to Rome. So the people want Titus. Titus is, think of Titus's strength, and this is one of the questions. Titus's strength can also be his weakness. He is a warrior. He's Rome first. And anybody who speaks out or goes against him or Rome, they get dealt with, right? A nobler man, he's noble. This is the description of Titus here. A braver warrior lives not this day within the city walls. No one is nobler or braver than Titus. He by the Senate is acceded home from weary wars against the barbarous Goths, that with his sons, a terror to our foes, hath yoked a nation strong, trained up in arms. 10 years are spent since first he undertook this cause. He's been fighting for 10 years. Titus has been fighting for 10 years for Rome. And chastised with arms our enemy's pride. 5 times he hath returned bleeding to Rome, bearing his valiant sons in coffins from the field. All of Titus's sons have been slain, except for a couple. There are a couple left. And now, at last, laden with honor spoils, returns the good Andronicus to Rome, renowned Titus. Flourishing in arms, let us entreat by honor of his names, whom worthily you would have now succeeded, and in this capital and senate's right, whom you pretend to honor and adore, that you withdraw you and abate your strength, dismiss your followers, and as suitors should, plead your deserts in peace and humbleness. Saturnius, how fair the tribune speaks to calm my thoughts. That's fair, right? Courteously. Marcus Andronicus, so do I affay in that uprightness and integrity, and so I love and honor thee and thine, thy noble brother Titus and his sons. Titus is noble, right? And her to whom my thoughts are humbled all, gracious Lavinia, Rome's rich ornament. That's Bassianus's betrothed, his girlfriend, right? Rome's rich ornament, that I will here dismiss my loving friends, and to my fortune, the people's favor, commit my cause in balance to be weighed. Friends that have been thus forward in my right, Saturninus here, right? I thank you all, and here dismiss you all into the love and favor of my country, commit myself, my person, and my cause. Rome, be as just and gracious unto me as I am confident and kind to thee. Open the gates and let me in. Let me be in charge. Tribunes and me, a poor competitor. Captain here. Rome's make away. Here comes Titus, the good Andronicus, patron of virtue, Rome's best champion, successful in the battles that he fights. He's like the badass dude, right? He's a warrior. Successful in the battles that he fights with honor and with fortune, is returned from where he circumscribed with his sword and brought to the yoke enemies of Rome. Here's the pomp and circumstances, the drums and trumpets, and Titus's sons, Lucius and Mucius here, and then 2 men bearing a coffin covered with black, and 2 other sons. These are Titus had like 20 plus sons, and these are the ones that are left, right? Then Titus, Tamora, and her sons. Here's Titus speaks, right? Hail Rome, victorious in thy mourning weeds. That's the apparel. Lo, as the bark that hath discharged his fraught, returns with precious lading to the bay, from whence at first she weighed her anchorage. We return with what we have left in these prisoners. Cometh Andronicus, bound with laurel bows, when the laurel boughs, to resalute his country with his tears of true joy. And here's a trope or a theme that runs in this play. It's fascinating. If you look at tears, crying, this play is almost tear-stroked. Here, Andronicus, these are tears of joy returning home. But throughout the rest of the play, there'll be tears of melancholy, sorrow, deep lamentation for all the horror and destruction. Tears of true joy for his return to Rome, thou great defender of this capital. Stand gracious to the rights that we intend, Romans of 25 valiant sons. Titus had 25 sons, right? Half of the number that King Prime had. Behold, the poor remains alive and dead. He has 4 left. These that survive let Rome reward with love. Thus did I bring into their latest home, with burial amongst their ancestors. Here Goths, that's who he was fighting, have given me the leave to sheathe my sword. Titus unkind, and careless of thy own, why suffer thou thy sons unburied, yet to hover on the dreadful shore of Styx, river Styx in Hades? Make way to lay them by their brethren. They put Titus's dead sons in the family tomb. There, great in silence, are the dead are wont, and sleep in peace, slain in your country's wars. O sacred receptacle of my joy, sweet cell of virtue and nobility. How many sons hast thou of mine in store, that thou wilt never render to me more? So there's Titus, lamenting his son's deaths. Here's Lucius, his son. Give us the proudest prisoner of the Goths, that we may hew his limbs on a pile. And there's a lot of Latin. You might want to look up this Latin in here. Ad mantis fratrum, to the ghosts of our brothers. Sacrifice his flesh before this earthy prison of their bones, that so the shadows be not unappeased. Now we disturb with prodigies on earth. So here is, and this is a question, right? They have Tamara's sons from the Goths, and hew his limbs. They want to hack him to pieces, and it's almost like a blood sacrifice to appease the war. So I'm curious what you all think. We're going to have Titus here. Tamara, Tamora, she like begs and pleads in this next part for her son's life, and I'm wondering, I don't know, does Titus have the ability to to kind of call off the sacrifice? I don't think so, because goes against everything he is. He's honor. He lives by a code, right? Eye for an eye with Rome, but it sets off the code that has made him so great a warrior. Sets off this string of retribution and bloodletting through this play. I give him you the noblest that survives, the eldest son of this distressed queen. Here's Tamora, begging here, pleading, stay, Roman brethren, gracious conqueror, victorious Titus, rue the tears, here more tears I shed, a mother's tears and passion for her son. And if thy sons were ever dear to thee, if your sons, she's pleading about Titus's sons, oh, think my son to be as dear to me. Suffice it not that we are brought to Rome to beautify thy triumphs, and return captive to thee into thy Roman yoke, but must my sons be slaughtered in the streets for valiant doings in their country's cause? They were just defending their claim. Oh, if to fight for king and commonweal were piety in thine, it is in these, Andronicus. She kneels. So she's kneeling before Titus, begging and pleading. Yeah, and we could think about this in contemporary context with wars, the sides we're fighting on, and there's bloodletting and revenge on both sides, right? For valiant doings in their country's cause, oh, if to fight for king and commonweal were piety in thine, it is in these. They were fighting for a cause too. Andronicus, stain not thy tomb with blood. Will thou draw near the nature of the gods? Draw near them then, and being merciful. Be merciful, Titus. Sweet mercy is nobility's true badge. Thrice noble Titus, spare my firstborn son. So this is begging and pleading. And I'm fascinated with this here. If Titus, I'm wondering if Titus spares Tamora's sons, she would probably, everything that comes after, the subsequent happenings would probably be avoided, right? He just can't do it. He just can't. Patient yourself, madam. Patient, calm yourself, and pardon me. These are the brethren whom your Goths beheld alive and dead, and for their brethren slain, religiously they ask a sacrifice. This is why, though, too. Religious, to this your son is marked, and die he must, to appease their groaning shadows that are gone. No, no, I hear what you're saying, and no, they have to die, right? Away with him and make a fire straight, and with our swords upon a pile of wood. This is brutal. Let's hew his limbs till they be clean consumed. They're going to hack him to pieces and throw him on a pile of funeral pyre here. Oh, cruel, rising, oh, cruel, irreligious piety. Tamora is brokenhearted here, right? Here's her son. Was never Scythia half so barbarous? Chiron, who's going to be sacrificed. Her other son. Oppose not Scythia to ambitious Rome. Alarbus goes to rest and we survive to tremble under Titus' threatening look. Alarbus is the son these are the other sons that are going to be around and kind of cause and sow the destruction here that we see. Tamora is going to use these sons, and they're gonna incorporate to sow and the destruction. Alarbus is going to be sacrificed. Alarbus goes to rest, and we survive. These two are still around, right? Cyrus and Demetrius, to tremble under Titus' threatening look. Then, madam, stand resolved, but hope withal. They're already plotting. The selfsame gods that armed the queen of Troy with opportunity of sharp revenge, right? Here comes the revenge. Upon the Thracian tyrant in his tent, may favor Tamora, the queen of Goths, when Goths were Goths and Tamora was queen, to quit the bloody wrongs upon her foes. Right here, this is the plotting. Sharp revenge. You can start plotting your revenge. And the deed is done, right? Enter the sons of Andronicus with bloody swords. See, Lord and Father, how we have performed our Roman rites. Alarbus, limbs are lopped, and entrails fed the sacrificing fire. They threw his entrails on the fire, whose smoke like incense doth perfume the sky. Remaineth not but to enter our brethren, with loud alarums welcome them to Rome. Let it be so, and let Andronicus make this latest farewell to their souls. In peace and honor rest you here, my sons. Rome's readiest champions, repose you here and rest, secure from worldly chances and mishaps. Here lurks no treason, here no envy swells, here grow no damned drugs, here are no storms, no noise, but silence and eternal sleep. In peace and honor rest you here, my sons. So Titus is hoping this is done for, right? He hopes this is over. Here's Lavinia. In peace and honor live Lord Titus long. Here's Lavinia's first appearance. My noble Lord and Father, live in fame. Lo, at this tomb my tributary tears I render for my brethren's obsequies. And at thy feet I kneel with tears of joy shed on this earth for thy return to Rome. I'm happy you're back. O bless me here with thy victorious hand, whose fortune Rome's best citizens applaud. Kind Rome, that hast thus lovingly reserved the cordial of mine age glad to my heart. Lavinia, live. Outlive thy father's day, and fame's eternal date for virtue's praise. So you can see Lavinia is like the apple of Titus's eye here. He loves her dearly. Here comes the others. Long live Lord Titus, my beloved brother, gracious triumpher in the eyes of Rome. Thanks, gentle tribune, noble brother Marcus, and welcome nephews from successful wars. Marcus goes on here. So you can, Titus Andronicus, people of Rome, whose friend and justice thou hast ever been, send they by me their tribune and trust, this palment of white and spotless you. Marcus is wanting Titus to be a candidate. They want him to take over, right? And also, I wonder too, if Titus were to take over, that would probably negate the subsequent bloodletting as well. But here's what Titus replies to Marcus. Wants Titus to take over. A better head her glorious body fits. That's Rome. A better head than mine. Than his that shakes for age and feebleness. I'm too old. I've fought too hard and too long. I don't want to do it. What, should I don this robe and trouble you? Why? Be chosen with proclamations today. Tomorrow yield up my rule, resign my life, and set abroad new business for you all. Rome, I have been thy soldier for 40 years. So that gives us Titus' age. He's probably pushing 60, right? Which is old back in, he's old. And led my country's strength successfully, and buried 1 in 20 valiant sons. So there's 4 left out of 25. Knighted in field, slain manfully in arms, in right and service of their noble country. Give me a staff of honor for mine age, but not a scepter to control the world. Upright he held it, lords, that held it last. I don't want to do it. I want to kind of calm down. And it's going to be the complete opposite. Titus, thou shalt obtain and ask the emperor, proud and ambitious tribune, canst thou tell? Patience, Prince Saturninus. Titus says, calm down, Saturninus. Romans do me right. He's like, I want to be the emperor. Patricians, draw your swords and sheathe them not till Saturninus be Rome's emperor. Andronicus, would thou were shipped to hell rather than rob me of the people's hearts? Proud Saturnine, interrupter of the good that noble-minded Titus means to thee. Content thee, prince. I will restore thee to the people's hearts and wean them from themselves. Bassianus, Andronicus, I do not flatter thee, but honor thee, and will do till I die. My faction, if thou strengthen with my friends, I will most thankful be, and thanks to men of noble minds, as honorable meet, I should be the emperor. And Bassianus is a better choice, and we'll see the repercussions of that. People of Rome and peoples as tribunes here, I ask your voices and your suffrage. Will you bestow them friendly to Andronicus? The people will accept whomever you nominate. So Titus gets the name the emperor. That's how powerful Titus is here, right? That's how much pull he has. Tribunes, I thank you. In this suit I make that you create our emperor's eldest son, Lord Saturninus. So Saturninus, whose virtues will I hope reflect on Rome as Titans raise on earth. So Saturninus, Titus nominates Saturninus. With voices of applause of every sort, patricians and plebeians, we create Lord Saturninus as Rome's great emperor and say, long live, Saturninus is emperor. Titus Andronicus, for thy favors done to us in our election. This day I give thee thanks in part of thy deserts, and will with deeds requite thy gentleness, and for an onset Titus to advance thy name in honorable I want Lavinia. I want Lavinia will I make my empress, Rome's royal mistress, mistress of my heart, and the sacred pantheon her espouse. Tell me, does thou motion please thee? Titus is like, yeah, you can have Lavinia. It doth, my worthy lord, and in this match I hold me highly honored of your grace. And here in sight of Rome to Saturnine, king commander of our commonweal, the wide world's emperor, do I consecrate my sword, my chariots. I'm giving it over to you, right? You're the emperor. I give you my daughter Lavinia, even though she's betrothed and with Bassianus, and we'll see how this plays out. Thanks, noble Titus, father of my life. How proud I am of thee and thy gifts. Rome shall record, and when I do forget the least of these unspeakable deserts, Romans, forget your fealty to me. Titus to Tamora. Now, madam, are you prisoner to an emperor, to him that for your honor in your state will use you nobly and your followers? A goodly lady, trust me of the hue, that I would choose were I to choose anew. Clear up, fair queen, that cloudy countenance, thou chance of war hath wrought this change of cheer. So Saturninus is talking to Tamora here. Can make you greater than queen of the Goths. Lavinia, you are not displeased with this? Not I, my lord. Since true nobility warrants these words in princely courtesy. I gotta be nice, but we'll see what happens here. Thank sweet Lavinia. Rome has let us go. Ransom us here. We set our prisoners free. Proclaim our honors, lords. So we think it's all done, right? Lord Titus and Bassianus is like, hell no, right? Lord Titus, by your leave, this maid is mine. Like Lavinia and I, we're a couple. How, sir? Are you in earnest then, my lord? Like we said this was so. I, noble Titus, am resolved withal to do myself this reason and this right. Bassianus takes Lavinia. Some is our Roman justice. This prince's justice sees this but his own. And that he will and shall if Lucius live. And so Lucius is backing Bassianus, right? They're going, because they were a couple. They were together. Titus, traitors. Where is the emperor's guard? Treason, my lord. Lavinia is surprised. Surprised by whom? Bassianus. By him that justly may bear his betrothed from all the world away. So they leave. Marcus, Bassianus, and Lavinia, right? Brothers, help to convey her hence away. With my sword, I'll keep this door safe. So Mucius, who is Titus, is one of his 4 sons, left here. Follow my lord, and I'll bring her back. Titus, like, I'll go get her. My lord, Mucius to his father. My lord, you pass not here. What, villain boy, barrest me my way to Rome? And Titus stabs his own son here. Why does he do this? Because he's disrespecting, he's going against Titus. To Titus's world, it's justifiable. We'll see this is the thing that makes Titus so great a warrior. This uncompromising, unrelenting, unwavering commitment to Rome and what's right and Roman law is also the thing that he kills his own son over it. Help, Lucius, help. He dies. My lord, this is Titus's one of his 3 remaining sons. My lord, you are unjust, and more than so. In wrongful quarrel you have slayed your son. Here's Titus's reasoning. Nor thou nor he or any sons of mine. You're no sons of mine. My sons would never so dishonor me. Traitor, restore Lavinia to the emperor. Titus is like, I named Saturninus the emperor. He wanted Lavinia. This was Roman law. Dead if you will, but not to be his wife. And Lucius leaves with her. He's kind of giving it to Titus here. That is another's lawful promised love, right? No, Titus, no, the emperor needs her not. Saturninus is like, forget it. I'll trust by leisure him that mocks me once. Thee never nor thy traitorous haughty sons. Your sons. He's giving it to Titus here. And Titus is like, damn, maybe I should have chosen Bassianus, right? Confederates all thus to dishonor me. Was none in Rome to make a stale but Saturnine. Full well, Andronicus. Agree these deeds with that proud brag of thine. At that saddest I beg the empire's hands. O monstrous, Titus, What reproachful words are these? I just named you emperor, and you're talking all this to me? But go thy ways, go give that changing peace to him that flourished for her with his sword, a valiant son-in-law that shall enjoy, one fit to bandy with thy lawless sons, to ruffle in the commonwealth of Rome. These words are razors to my wounded heart. Saturninus is giving it to him here. And he chooses Tamora, right? And therefore, lovely Tamora, queen of the Goths, that like the stately Phoebe mongst her nymphs does overshine the gallant dames of Rome. If thou be pleased with this my sudden choice, behold, I choose thee, Tamora, for my bride. Dun dun dun. We got a twist here. So, and this is going to set off the blood revenge here, eye for an eye. And will create the Empress of Rome. Speak, Queen of Goths, dost thou applaud my choice? And here I swear by all the Romans' gods, sith priest and holy water are so near, and tapers burn so bright, and everything in readiness, I make you my bride. And Tamora's like, hell yeah, right? And here in sight of heaven to Rome I swear, if Saturnite advance the Queen of Goths, she will a handmaid be to his desires, a loving nurse, a mother to his youth. So we see this, though. Tamora agrees. She has her remaining sons, Chiron and Demetrius, who are plotting revenge. She agrees to be with Saturninus, but it's only to kind of get her revenge. She's the lover of Aaron the Moor, who we're going to be introduced to soon. And they plot a bunch of these doings together. Ascend, fair queen, whose wisdom hath her fortune conquered. Titus, right? He's like, what's going on? I am not asked to wait upon this bride. Titus, when wert thou wont to walk along, dishonored thus and challenged of wrongs? He's like, what just happened? Titus is like, I was kind of, there was a switcheroo here. Enter Marcus and the sons. O Titus, Marcus Titus's brother, look what you have done. In a bad quarrel slain a virtuous son. No foolish tribune, no son of mine, nor thou, nor these confederates in the deed, thou hast dishonored all our family, unworthy brother and unworthy sons. And they're begging here, bury him in the tomb of the family, give Mucius burial with our brethren. Traitors away, he rests not in this tomb, this monument 500 years hath stood, which I have sumptuously re-edified. Here none but soldiers and Rome servitors repose in fame, none basely slain in brawls. Bury him where you can, he comes not here. Brutal, right? Titus is like brutal. Not only do I kill my son, I'm refusing him burial in the family tomb. But we'll see he relents. My lord, this is impiety in you. My nephew Mucius' deeds do plead for him. He must be buried with his brethren. And shall, or him we will accompany. He's going to be buried here. And shall? Are you threatening? What villain was it spake that word? He that would vouch it in any place but here. What, would you bury him in my despite? No, noble Titus, but entreat of thee to pardon Mucius and to bury him. Marcus, even thou hast stroke upon my crest, right? Even you now, and with these boys my honor thou hast wounded. My foes I can repute you every one, so trouble me no more, but get you gone. He is not with himself, let us withdraw. Not I, till Mucius' bones be buried. They kneel, their brother for in that name doth plead, father in the name doth nature. They're begging with Titus here, right? Speak no more, if all the rest will speed. Renowned Titus, if you all want to live, stop talking. I'm going to kill everybody. Renowned Titus, more than half my soul. Dear father, they're begging Titus here, right? This is another trope in a play, this begging and pleading. Suffer thy brother Marcus to inter his noble nephew here in virtue's nest, that died in honor in Lavinia's cause. Thou art a Roman. You're a Roman. Don't be a barbarian. The Greeks, and he's entreating with this story, right? The Greeks, upon advice, did bury Ajax. When Achilles' arms were given, Ajax in a fury stabbed himself, right? That slew himself, and wise Laertes' son did graciously plead for his funerals. Let not young Mucius then, with that was thy joy, be barred his entrance here. Rise, Marcus, rise, the dismalest day in that thou ever saw, to be dishonored by my sons in Rome. Well, bury him, and bury me the next. Okay. Put him in the tomb. There lie the bones, sweet Mucius, with thy friends, till we with trophies do adorn thy tomb. No man shed tears for noble Mucius. He lives in fame that died in virtue's cause. My lord, to step out of these dreary dumps, that's melancholy. We have this like everything's amiss here. This all turned out horribly, right? Obviously. How comes it that the subtle queen of Goths is of a sudden thus advanced? Or what the hell? How did Tamora become empress of Rome? I don't. I know not, Marcus, but I know it is. Whether by device or no, the heavens can tell. Is she not then beholding to the man that brought her for his high good turn so far? Yes, and will nobly him remunerate. Here they come. So, Bassianus, you have played your prize. Saturninus, God give you joy, serve your gallant bride. And you of yours, my lord. I say no more, no wish no less, and so I take my leave. Traitor, if Rome have law or we have power, thou and thy faction shall repent this rape. So that's such a ominous foreboding here, right? Saturninus says, Bassianus, you have raped Rome with your turning your back, and we're going to see what's going to happen down the road a bit. Rape? Call you it? Right? Are you kidding me? My lord, to seize my own? Lavinia was mine, my true betrothed love, and now my wife, but let the laws of Rome determine all. Meanwhile, am I possessed of that is mine. 'Tis good, sir, you are very short with us, but if we live, we'll be as sharp with you. My lord, what I have done as best I may answer, I must and shall do with my life. Only this much I give your grace to know. By all the duties that I owe to Rome, this noble gentleman, Lord Titus here, is in my opinion honor wronged, that in the rescue of Lavinia with his own hand did slay his youngest son in zeal to you and highly moved to wrath to be controlled, and that he frankly gave receive him then to favor. Look favors upon Titus. This shows Bassianus is honorable and good, and Titus should have chosen him, right? And not Saturninus, that hath expressed himself in all his deeds, a father and a friend to thee in Rome. Prince Bassianus, leave to plead my deeds. I'm going to do what I want. 'Tis thou and those that have dishonored me. Rome and the righteous heavens be my judge. How I have loved and honored Saturnine. This is Titus here, right? Yeah. Titus, leave to plead my deeds. How I have loved and honored Saturnine. Tamora, my worthy lord, if ever Tamora were gracious in those princely eyes of thine, then hear me speak indifferently, for all my sweet pardon what is past. And Saturnine what? So here's Tamora's pleading for good Lord Titus, innocence and all. She pleads, right? Put a public face on him. Be nice to Titus in public, but on an aside, my lord, be ruled by me, be one at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. You are newly planted in your throne. Lest then the people and patricians too, upon a just survey, take Titus's part, and so supplant you for ingratitude, which Rome reputes to be a heinous sin. Yield at entreats, and then let me, here's my plan. Be nice on the outside. I'll find a day to massacre them all and raise their faction, their family, the cruel father and his traitorous sons. We'll get back at them. Play nice now, right? Play nice now, and we'll revenge them soon. Rise, Titus, my empress has prevailed. And here's, Tamora speaking to Titus. I am incorporate of Rome, a Roman now adopted happily, and must advise the emperor for his good. This day all quarrels die. Right? We're going to, this is the outward show. This is Tamora lying and plotting here. And let it be mine honor, good my lord, that I have reconciled your friends and you. She's going on here, right? We do and vow to heaven that on my honor here I do protest. Away and talk not, trouble us no more. Nay, nay, sweet emperor, we must all be friends. The tribune and his nephews kneel for grace. I will not be denied. Sweetheart, look back. Right? Marcus, for thy sake and thy brothers here, and at my loveliest Tamora's entreats, I do remit these young men's heinous faults. How Titus's sons betrayed me and betrayed Rome. Lavinia, though you left me like a curl, I found a friend, sure as death I swore I would not part a bachelor from the priest. Come, if the emperor's court can feast two brides, you are my guest, Lavinia, and your friends. This day shall be a love day, Tamora, which is a complete, it's been a day of slaughter, horrific reckoning, intrigue, lies. Tomorrow, and it please your majesty to hunt a panther. I am inviting you to a hunt. with me. Be it so, Titus and Gramercy too. So that's the end of the long Act 1, Scene 1. A lot of stuff going on. The whole play is in motion. We see Titus slaughtering the sons, Lavinia and Bassianus going off, Saturninus taking Timora as queen, and Timora plotting revenge against the family.